All right. My experience has been that, you know, that's accurate when it says that, except if you forget to do the YouTube, which I had not forgotten to do. So um, I don't know. Omar said this was a good time, but he also said the last time he was on Jitsi that he had some problems. So in the future, I've got a Zoom I could use if that becomes a problem. He was able to use Jitsi in the past, so I don't know what happened. Um, I was hoping to talk about getting ready for um, Netlabel Day 2024. Um, I guess my thought was, you know, to do some of that at the direction of Omar, but maybe there are some things we can do, you know. Like I guess my thought was that, you know, his experience with doing it last year, would help with, what do we actually need. Um, but but I guess, my thought is, um, you know, just sort of like divvying up like who's posting on to various social media campaigns. If there's like, like various people that we want to reach out to, um, you know, um, just sort of like figuring out who's going to do, all that kind of stuff. Like, let's say we think it's worth reaching out to Bandcamp. I don't know that it makes sense for like all four of us to do that. Maybe with somebody like Bandcamp, it does. I don't know. Just inundate them with with things so it can't be ignored. I mean, like the social media campaign stuff is like, I don't know how well, like, it's not like an area of expertise that I have. I feel like the best thing to do is probably have like, accounts, on different sites, but then that becomes like a chore. I don't know. I would say, one thing that always comes to mind with me is like TikTok. Like, I'm not on TikTok, so, that's sort of been on my to-do list to figure out, like, is it worth having a TikTok account? One thing, I guess, like, I don't really know. I mean, we can talk about TikTok, keep that in the back of our minds. But one thing that, like, I guess we could do concretely, like we have the YouTube account, which, appears to, or I guess peer is not the right word. It syncs to PeerTube. So we could do, like, I don't know if we might not want to do like, like full interviews, but, we could do like a little like 5-minute clips. Maybe he's got a list of the folks that are involved. It's quite a long list, but then I'm sure some of the folks won't speak English, or even if their English is adequate, they won't feel like it is. Let's see it on the Netlabel site. Maybe that's just on his. I know it's on Facebook. Let's see if it's on Mastodon. Okay, is this everybody? All right, maybe I'll just share my screen here. All right. So this was a while back, but not too far back. List of folks that are involved. It's not too awfully long. Let's see. I think this will give me my numbers. Yeah. Okay. So we got 37. We're less than 37 days out, but well, maybe we're not. We're just barely, I guess. This is the 14th, but we could do multiple ones on the same day potentially. So Jason, I noticed you're involved here. Is this taking a DJ slot? Is that what this is referring to, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's a DJ slot.
So I don't know if this is a mix of I'm assuming that this is a mix of Netlabels that are participating and folks that are doing a DJ slot. I know there's a spreadsheet somewhere of DJ slots. That might be.
Yeah, Omar has shared that it's been filling up between the day before, at least stateside, recognition of Netlabel Day proper, as the rest of the world would participate and kick things off. And then it flows into us proper on July 14th. Yep, there it is.
So yeah, Cook Island. So there's 52 slots. Okay. So I'm not sure what Rhino's doing. Do you know, William? Is he streaming the? I think he said he was going to be here. Yeah. Because I had assumed he was gonna that was a DJ slot that he was taking, but too many things open. I mean, I guess the real question is like, do we think that it's like more important to get these host slots filled or to like do promotion? Because like getting the host slot filled is like a, you know, digital door-to-door sort of thing. I feel like, you know, how many slots do we have left here. So there's -6, -8, 10, 12. So I guess 51 minus 12 is 39. 39. It's basically 10. Well, but it's their hour slots. Kind of. I mean, I don't know that he would be. Or are they 2-hour slots? Looks like looks like he's sort of like suggesting that people take 2-hour slots. But I don't know that that's any sort of requirement. But if we each filled up 10 of these hours, then
what's the link for that?
I'll drop it in here. It's just stupid Google spreadsheets. I mean, I use Google spreadsheets too, but the URLs are stupid. I think, I mean, you know, so hopefully Jason comes back, but you know, he can watch it on that. So let's just say the four of us, we have 39 slots. That's we're 4 weeks out. You know, if we basically got a person a week to do a 2-hour slot plus one additional person, this would be full. Now, I don't know how important that is. You know, if that's something that, like, you know, a milestone that that Omar wants to hit, and then I would think it seems like this is something that he wants. That's the vibe that I get. I don't know. Does anybody else have a sense? I was just saying, I don't know how important it is to like fill this time up. I know that like Omar doing it all by himself last year was problematic. So I kind of feel like this is something that he's promoting. My thought is that we could all try to get like one person signed up a week each week, plus like, you know, one bonus person. And then if somebody fails at that, there's actually 39 slots, not really, well, I guess it's an odd number. So with the 2-hour slots.
Can you explain this chart to me? I just don't understand it. I also don't know how one would fill the slot. Like, I don't. You have to connect to the stream somehow.
Yeah. So I don't actually know either.
Okay.
Jason, maybe Omar has given you details about how all that works. I think you're muted. Oh, there you go.
Okay. Last I checked in with him, it was he envisions a combination of pre-recorded and live sets. Sets can be anywhere from 15 to 120 minutes. And that's either a pre-recorded section, a live section. Maybe it's a DJ mix of Creative Commons music. Perhaps it's folks, if they're set up to do it in terms of bands playing live. I do see that John Worthy and the Bends is up there.
Yeah.
So he just wanted to make sure that it wasn't a situation where he's doing, you know, something crazy like 41 out of 50 hours and going live. You know, you know, I think it's been a sentiment that's been expressed more often than not, that we want to make sure that Brother Omar isn't burning himself out this time around.
Yeah.
And so as far as those sets are concerned, it's really just a matter of, you know, who's willing to put themselves down for the time. Yeah. As for myself, you know, I haven't done anything live in terms of internet radio since the wonderful collective that I was with, Bonfire, had stopped on the last or the almost the last day of last year. So to be able to be involved in something like this and have my concentration be on music that's under, sharing licenses is just, to me, that's an added bonus.
Thank you. So I guess it would be up to the individual is the answer to the question as far as how to connect. The way the chart works.
So there's 51 hours.
Yeah. So
Got
starts.
And they start at.
Yeah. Okay. So they start when the first time zone, which is Line Islands, which is UTC plus 14. When it hits, the 14th at midnight, that's when it starts.
So and then Chicago, that's actually 4 a.m. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So this is why when I was thinking about having the global summit the same day, then we were going to start it at 9. Okay. So we were going to start it here, and then we would have, I'm like pointing, like you guys can see where I'm pointing, but the screens here, how you move my mouse, that's something you can actually see. So like the idea was that, we'd be having sessions during this time, and then, during the US day of Netlabel Day, people could listen to the stream. That was sort of the idea. Now, what I've decided since then is that in order to promote the various countries to have their own Netlabel Day events, I'm going to move the Global Summit into the spring, and then we're going to do the CCCMA announcements at the Global Summit. So part of that was because, part of the reason for not doing it this time was because of that. But also part of it was just like there wasn't gonna be that much. I haven't had time to do it, so I'm just gonna move it to the spring. So okay. But yeah, so it's color coded. Everybody's midnight, here. I think maybe strategically, there's some like big gaps. So if we could try to get some later in the time, and then on the 13th, I might just sign up for one here, and then that'll be one of my 5. Got it.
So you had the list that was from the Mastodon post.
Yeah.
We don't really know how that matches up to the column here.
So this is a list of net labels that are providing things. And then so like Black Sonic, Mahorka, most of these are net labels. Poly5. I don't know what Rhino's doing exactly. But yeah, most of these
so we assume Rhino would be taking a 2-hour slot or something like that, but we don't have it slotted in here at all yet.
Yeah, my guess is that Rhino is gonna mirror the feed. That's actually my guess, since he's not on here. But maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't know. But I think we should just take these slots at face value if somebody hasn't bothered to actually put their name in here. So I don't know how I feel about a 2-hour slot. So I think what I might do is, for now, I'll just take, what is happening here? My font is all white. This doesn't make any sense. Oh, I guess it does because he's color coding it. Okay. I don't know what his color code, how he wants to do this, but I'll just make my little slot there black. So, but my little idea about sort of like basically going digitally door to door to people we know, and getting this thing filled out. Does that seem like a thing that we could do? Like, do we know 5 people that we think could potentially be interested in doing something?
I'm wondering if Netwaves could join for like an hour or so, because I feel like almost every year, if not every year, they release like an hour-long episode that's like a special like Netlabel Day thing.
I think that's part of what's going on here is like, maybe Netwaves is gonna like, they've said they're gonna, do their own thing, but maybe they didn't sign up for an actual hour. So I think some of this may just be going to these people and saying, hey, you're already involved. Do you wanna sign up for a slot? Maybe, if you're a label, put together a hour mix of your stuff and put it on there. You just go ahead and package up that gigantic, MP3 and send it over to Omar. Yeah. So does that, Jason, sound like a reasonable plan of action to you?
I think as long as we know, even if it's not necessarily 5 other people that, each of us individually know, if there is at least 1 or 2 that we could reach out to, particularly those that we know who are at least somewhat knowledgeable or willing to dabble in the Creative Commons side of things musically.
Yeah,
and say,
I just said 5 because everybody else is signed up for a 2-hour time slot, and that we're done if we do 5. But like, if somebody wants to take a 6-hour block, I don't think Omar's gonna have a problem with that. So but I think that gives us a limited, like, then we have like a time frame, like 1 a week, and then you can kind of feel like, and then like if you don't have somebody by like next Sunday, then like maybe somebody else can help pick up some of the slack. So with that said, do we want to have like next Sunday is Father's Day. We could do it on Saturday instead. But do we want to just have like a weekly check-in? It might just be like 15 minutes, but then we can all get here and just say, hey, this is what's happening. Or
I'm busy all next weekend, but I just need to know from him like what the process is. That's what I'm trying to like.
Okay.
Because I do my show on every night. I just connect to a server, my server.
Yeah.
I just connected to his server. I can do a period of time, and I can just take my, the music that I've liked the most, and I can play, and I can look into the bands and talk about the bands a little or whatever, and that's all fine. I could, talk to a friend. I could play his music if he wanted. Why don't time? But I don't know people, so that's my problem.
Why don't I email Omar, and then I'll CC all of you guys, because this is going to come up with the people we talk to too.
Right.
I'm certain of that.
And sometimes you have the I tried to connect to servers before. Sometimes it doesn't work, so I'm also kind of concerned.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'd like to test it, but
testing is always good. Okay. So I will do that. I'm not talented enough to like talk and listen and type all at the same time. So I will do that immediately after this. And then you said you're out next week, William.
Yeah. I think so.
But if I just in general, does this sound okay if I just send like an invite for the next 3 weeks on Sunday? William won't be here next week, but just a recurring thing. Then we'll just check in and see how it's going and see if we can get these slots filled.
Yeah.
Sound good, Sam?
Yeah.
Sweet. I saw you nodding, Jason. So
Yep. Sounds good. If
Cool.
it helps, I think it was just under 2 weeks ago when I asked about the setup via email to Omar regarding Netlabel Day Radio. He says it's IceCast 2 based.
Okay.
So
That should be
that's
good.
what he's working with. Normally he's going through with the being able to connect to that through the open source DJ program Mix. Right now he's able to get through to that, but one of the other people he's been talking with can't. So he was working out bugs 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And trying to get that hammered out in advance, as well as setting up accounts. That was the last time that I've communicated with him, probably about shortly before, just going into Memorial Day weekend. So, he was hammering stuff out at that point. And at that point, he did say that in terms of blocking out time, combination of pre-recorded and live,
Okay.
and was working on the Netlabel Day blog just so that he could get some further thoughts out as far as what he wanted to see take place. But I do think that, just reaching out to him, as far as Doug reaching out to him with a follow-up email with us CC'd, just so that we're all on the same page would be a good thing at this point.
Yeah, and we could.
Promotion is,
I was
as
just
far
saying.
as promotion is concerned, let's just say.
Go ahead. We got some lag.
Yeah. Definitely got some lag. Sorry about that. In terms of social media promotion, sometimes considering all the various possibilities and all the various accounts that we're on, social media saturation can often lead into social media fatigue real quick. If anything, I just say, just get in where you fit in terms of where you're most comfortable. If it's Twitter/X, then great. If it's Instagram, then cool. If it happens to be TikTok, then excellent. We congregate on Mastodon. If we think we can reach outside of the already converted on Mastodon, then that's a plus. It's best that we stretch ourselves out and do whatever we can for the things that we happen to be passionate about. Because for some of us, the fervor surrounding Netlabel Day is an everyday thing. Whether we're into the artists that we champion, whether we're into the online labels that act as curators that happen to release a certain sound that we champion, there are going to be some things that represent various different aspects of what makes up this one day that we try to champion once a week, once a month, every so often, beyond just that happening on that one day. So with social media, don't stress yourselves out over it. Don't make it be a thing to where it becomes more of a chore rather than a thing that you want to do.
Yeah, I think long term, we in this case being Friends of CC Music, need like a dedicated like social media person. I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to get a person that like has that like marketing skill set and knows how to use it and all that kind of stuff. But I think it would be ideal if we had somebody who was like focused on that, just to make sure we're like hitting the places that matter. Because yeah, individually and like managing your own accounts and stuff, yeah, like it can be draining. So, but I don't have a timeline on that. But if anybody watching thinks that sounds like something you want to do, hit me up. All right, sweet. I will send out that invite here in just a second, and then yeah, I will see. I'll just send it to everybody that's already on it, even the folks that aren't here today, and then yeah, I'll see some of you guys next Sunday.
Sounds good.
Okie
All right.
dokie.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah.